August is the 6th anniversary of the destruction from Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Travel Television has presented each month stories of volunteers working in the Gulf Coast. On this anniversary, we present some of our favorite stories.
This is Denise Torres. We're married, long time. Our kids are away at college now, so we're trying to do some traveling and meet people, and we're experimenting with the best way of doing that is doing volunteer work. So we're spending 2 weeks down here in New Orleans, and about a week of that we're doing volunteer work. And we've met a lot of incredible people.
Well, we're here today in the community center in St. Bernard Parish, and this is one of the most hardest hit areas after Katrina.
Much more than any other vacation, just getting to see the culture, go places you never would have gone in the city, and meet people you never would have met. It's really the greatest travel experience we've ever had.
And the way I see it is, a week is a week. That's, you know, you create a lot of little ripple effects in a week. You create a lot of little ways that you're helping and big ways that you're helping, whether it's that you've given a small child a little book that makes them smile and makes their day better, or you've cleaned a lot of animal cages, which we have, or whatever it is. There's an amazing ripple effect that you know is healing for the community, and that's really why we're here. Relief
Spark is a grassroots organization comprised of volunteers who provide first response disaster relief services. The members help communities respond and rebuild during and after natural disasters. Sydney Ray founded this group just after Hurricane Katrina using the very popular internet message board Craigslist to collect $3 million worth of donations from Southern California. Relief Spark has volunteers of all ages to work on both short and long-term projects. One project is the rebuilding of trails within New Orleans City Park. Travel Television spoke to some of the volunteers working on this project.
My name is Matty Herpa. I'm from Stanford, California, and I'm here because I volunteered last year, enjoyed the experience, decided to come back again.
Hi, my name is Arndel LeBlanc. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I came down because I thought that the United States needed a little bit of help and that Canada was here to help you guys out. Loving the experience, hanging out with good guys like Maddie. It's a great time. We've met a lot of different organizations since we've been around here. The simplest things can be done here, such things like Operation Greenlight New Orleans, which are just changing light bulbs to energy efficient light bulbs in houses. So just that is saving people so much money on the energy bill. Maybe we should talk about Arno.
Well, I mean, I have a different approach. I mean, it is great. Like, there's a lot of use for unskilled labor in case people want to volunteer and come down. But I also feel like certain things, the scope is beyond, nonprofits. I feel like the government needs to get involved. So maybe you should contact your representative in government, in Congress, and have them, speak up on this issue.
A community center in the Lower Ninth Ward built by volunteers.
This community center is in the name of it is the Lower Ninth Ward Village, and we named it a village because it takes a village to raise a child.
We've been coming down to New Orleans now for 3 years, literally gutting houses, and most of the day we would take people's memories and put them on the curbside. This year's been kind of a new experience for us. Instead of tearing things down, we're having the experience of putting something up.
But this is a community center that the neighborhood and volunteers are putting together. We're trying to make a blueprint for tragedy anywhere in the world.
It's kind of hard to grasp what needs to be done or what you can do, but we're helping to build a kitchen for the community center.
And the commercial kitchen will be a kitchen that teaches the kids how to cook, how to wait tables, how to run a kitchen. So it's going to be the neighborhood pulling together to make that become a reality.
I'm most impressed with the community effort and how people are coming from all over the country. We've met people from Baltimore and Albuquerque, and we're from Michigan, so it wasn't until we got down here that we realized how important it is to volunteer and to put forth an effort to improve things.
And we're going to have computer classes. We're also going to have a studio department where the kids could go in and make music and stuff like that.
My husband and my daughter and I came down the day before Christmas, and we came over here yesterday and worked with Mac and a few of his volunteers and are scraping windows and trying to help in the beginning stages of putting a community center together.
We're going to have a library, and we're also going to have an art class. So these are some of the major things besides recreation, having basketball and volleyball, soccer, and things of that nature here. So these are the things that we're trying to provide.
I am a recent college grad, and I just moved down here in September, and this is my family.
But our most thing that we want to address is the elderly and getting the elderly home. So we're going to eliminate the red tape. Whatever it takes to get them home, that's what we're going to do. You know, we're not going to look into why they don't have the money or whatever the problems are. If we ask them, they want to be home, we're going to do everything in our power to get them home, fixing their house, going to get them in Texas, wherever they at, in Atlanta or wherever they at, and bringing them home.
We love Mac. He's great.
We're picking ourselves up by our bootstraps with the help of volunteers, and we're doing it, and there are a lot of wonderful stories down here, and we're working together, and we'd love to tell you all about it.
Yeah, this community center just seems like a really good thing, so can't wait to see it when it's finished.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
Well, the thing about it, I had looked at this place like 4 years before Katrina.
And this place was down in the
lower Ninth Ward.
Yeah.
It looked like an old airplane hangar, but the space was fantastic to do antique cars. So when I got the opportunity to get it, I wasn't going to pass it up. And that worked until I got the keys in my hand. Once I got the keys in my hand, I went in through the back doors and stepped in there, and for whatever reason, childhood and teenage memories I could not shake of a community center that was my sanctuary when I was a kid coming up. Not being able to shake it, I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do groundbreaking in 2 weeks. If the community comes out, then I'll do the community space. If they don't come out, then I'm going to do my antique cars.
You kind of tossed it to fate, yes. Huh? Okay.
Well, I thought I was a shoe in the wind. We only had like maybe 10% of the people back, and they were so busy trying to get their lives in order. I knew they wasn't going to be able to come out to even see the space. But to my shocking surprise, over 300 came out. And I was really, really shocked at that. But I didn't give up. I had them make out from the 4x4 cards, and it basically said, if you wanted to become a community space, what can you do? Well, I figured no one would fill out the cards. I do my antique cars.
You gave it another chance.
Yes.
Right.
Almost every one of them filled out a card. And it was so amazing, and they have been totally committed to making it a community space.
You know, he gave the community center so many chances. I think deep down inside, you might have just wanted the community center more than tinkering around with some old antique cars.
Yes,
I think so.
And it's been the most rewarding thing I ever done. We just celebrated 1 year anniversary, November the 30th, and I have to admit it's been the most rewarding, the most exciting year of my life. Just trying to help people get back on their feet, trying to rebuild a community that was definitely totally devastated.
Rebuilding Together New Orleans is part of a national organization facilitating service projects throughout the United States. In New Orleans, RTNO hosts thousands of volunteers each year who come to rebuild the Gulf Coast area. The Rebuilding Together volunteers have logged over 250,000 hours of service. The results? Over 200 homes rebuilt. The organization works with low-income, elderly, and disabled residents, and a construction staff oversees the volunteers who are working on site. Travel Television visited Rebuilding Together New Orleans over the Christmas break when a group of volunteers from a New Jersey-based Jewish service organization traveled to the Gulf Coast as part of a mitzvah project. In Hebrew, the word mitzvah means a worthy deed or an act of kindness and compassion.
everybody. I am thrilled to be here down in New Orleans. This is my first time in this area. I'm from Massachusetts. Very much a social action person. I like to do various things to help those who are in need. That's just who I am. I feel very fortunate and blessed in my life, the life that I lead, and I want to make life better for others. I feel that that's kind of one of my purposes, my main purposes for being here. And I found out about this project for rebuilding down in New Orleans. And of course I knew about what had gone on down here after Hurricane Katrina. And when I saw this opportunity, I'm a teacher, so this was happening over the December vacation, and I'm thrilled. I don't have carpentry skills, but everyone down here is very nice, and I'm doing things that I never pictured myself doing, but obviously I knew when I came down here I would be doing things like spackling and painting. Everyone is very nice and very appreciative. We all help each other, and we feel like this is something that we can do in a concrete way with our own two hands and our bodies to help repair this area. And I just feel this is like putting my body where my mouth is as far as Reform Judaism, to partner and do some repair work. And I strongly recommend, if this is something that you feel that you can do, bring yourself down here. It's incredibly beautiful and interesting to see what's going on, and the appreciation of people down here. We've had dinner in some people's homes, and people just stopping on the street and thanking us for coming down as volunteers to help rebuild their city.
My name is Sarah Loesch. I'm the Director of Lifelong Learning at the Barnard Temple in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. And we actually have a connection to Rebuilding Together in New York. One of our families works with them in the New Jersey area, and when we came down here last year, we worked with American Volunteers, and this organization is working out remarkably great for us. I hope we're not needed anymore. Last year was pretty eye-opening and terrible, and this year I see a big difference. I really do. I see more people living in the streets. I see lights on. I see more care being given, and maybe that little bit of hope that all the volunteers have given over the last 3 years will continue to make a difference in the lives of the people here. So I guess for me, it's really all about modeling the behavior. Making sure that we do what we say we're going to do, that we remember that sometimes it's people coming from far matters more to people than the fact that we're here building something, that it means something to them. I felt that by coming down here, and I don't quite know how to hammer and all that kind of stuff, but that I could go back after doing this and share my feelings with our families up there and let them see that this is something everybody could do. You don't have to be great at anything. You don't have to have a background. In fact, I think there are things that we do when we don't have the background that are better than the people who do, because it's not expected of us. So when I get back and I had a hard hat that everybody signed, and I had photographs of the kids that we worked with last year who were just delicious, and we put up pictures for everybody. Everybody said, oh, I would do that. I could do that.
Okay. Hi, I'm Richard Giverson. I'm from Wayne, New Jersey. I'm a union carpenter from New York City, and I'm down here because so much still has to be done. A lot has been done, but they really need help down here. I feel that people already swept the Katrina victims under the rug, and it just doesn't seem that they have the support from the government and other people. I'm down here with a group with Rabbi Safin. We're a Jewish group that comes down from New Jersey. Rabbi Safin came and spoke at our temple, and I was very inspired to come down last year, and this is my second time. I hope that other people see this message and come down to help. Even if you're not skilled, they still need help. They need help carrying things, cleaning up. Just please come down.
There's not much boom left to this boom box, with music sounding as though it were being forced through a tin can. But the real song here is being played in this hallway. It's the song of people from all across the country who've come to this city to enjoy its good times and help it recover from its bad times.
We have just been absolutely welcomed with open arms and open hearts, and you can't help but just absorb that and take it home.
There's an interesting phenomenon that's popped up in New Orleans post-storm. It's when folks will come in from around the country to try and help rebuild the city during the day. Then at night they will enjoy all the fun that New Orleans has to offer. It's part volunteering, it's part tourism. They call it voluntourism. This is the music that means New Orleans will be back better than ever. What's happening here shows the true power of people. They take the good times from the city every night, and every day they repay for those good times with hard work and a little elbow grease. This organization is Hands on New Orleans, and their name is fitting. Their hands are all over this old school, bringing it back to life. With each brushstroke, there's a story, all of them interesting. This woman created her own charitable organization to help New Orleans.
It's the relationships that you're building, and you come back and you keep those relationships thriving.
Emily Pelton is celebrating her 40th birthday by painting the greenest wall imaginable.
I know what's been going on down here. I've been down a few times. I wanted some other people to see what's been going on in the city, and I know that there were volunteer opportunities, so I sent out an email and got 6 people with me, and we've been having a great time.
Once you spend a day painting, there's a good chance you'll need to find a place to unwind Big Easy style. Between St. Patrick's Cathedral and St. Charles Avenue stands a true New Orleans gem with wrought iron history. When the super modern Lafayette Hotel opened back during the First World War, it changed the character of the neighborhood from a sleepy row of boarding houses into a hum of activity, and it's wide awake today. Right outside the front lobby entrance, the hotel staff even calls the neighborhood pigeons friends. So it's the weekend, and nothing sounds better than a trip to the park. There are so many things to do. Walk to the museums, enjoy nature, feel like a kid again while swinging on the swing set. Or how about a stroll behind a mower?
This, after the storm, was utterly devastated. City Park had about $43 million worth of damage. Multiple trees were down.
What would you call someone who, every Saturday morning after a long week at work, heads to the park and starts cleaning it up?
City Park morons, weeding by example.
This is a moron, and she couldn't be more happy about it. In fact, New Orleans City Park finds itself overrun by morons. You can't miss them. They label themselves that because...
We started cutting the grass, and we were having some drinks afterwards at a little neighborhood bar, and we were laughing about how silly it is that, you know, the kind of monumental task that we're trying to undertake with push lawnmowers. And we said, you know, we're kind of like idiots. We're kind of morons. And, you know, Ian said, morons, that's us. And his wife came up with the weeding by example, and it stuck.
They may be morons, that's M-O-W-R-O-N-S, on the outside, but the desire to do something for their city comes from deep down.
We like to show people we have a sense of humor, and you know, we want to have a good time while we're trying to make our city put it back to what it was before the storm.
Christine Kabelia and the gang of mowers come here each and every Saturday. They've been volunteering their time here for over a year.
This is such a treasure for the city of New Orleans. It's such a great thing to have, and we wanted to make a difference some kind of way.
Slowly, it's been this group who has helped restore the grand entrance to the park and much of its 1,300 acres.
My friends tease me because I'm always out here cutting the grass, and they want to go do fun stuff too, but it's a really good release.
My name is Jim Barrett. I'm from Merrimack, New Hampshire, and I came down here with the Duffley family. This is my third 8 Days of Hope, and we heard that there was going to be some new construction going on. In the past, it's always been remodel stuff, and we've done a lot of drywall work, And so we got involved in working on this house. We started about a week ago, and we're hanging drywall right now. So we've had a lot of good help, and we've had some really good crews working on this house, right from the frame up through all the utility work, and now we're getting into some of the finish work. I first got started working on some volunteer projects actually in eastern Kentucky with a church group a few years ago, and I really enjoyed just taking a week or two every year. When I was in eastern Kentucky, we were working on a community center that was run down, and after Katrina hit, the call was to come down here. My mother grew up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, even though I live in New Hampshire. So I had some cousins that lost their houses in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I know some people that had some losses from Hurricane Rita out in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So I still feel called to come back here and volunteer with 8 Days of Hope, and that's probably something I'll be doing if I can in the future.
My name is Tim Dean. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I came down to New Orleans about 6 weeks ago to volunteer with Relief Spark, a local grassroots nonprofit that I found on Craigslist. Came down for, initially for 2 weeks and decided to stick it out, and came on as a project leader with Relief Spark. I originally came down here last May with a group from Burlington, Vermont, where I was living. It's a group called Recycle North Youth Build. We worked on homes in the Gulf Coast along Mississippi and spent one night in New Orleans. And after that experience, I was really motivated to get back here full time and relocate here permanently. I was amazed when I came down here almost 2 years after the storm with the lack of progress and really the continuing need for rebuilding and recovery efforts here. I think there's a conception out there that things are back to normal here in New Orleans and along the Gulf Coast, and that is very far from the truth. Being with a grassroots nonprofit like Relief Spark, really gives me an opportunity to support the community of New Orleans in lots of different ways. We support a network of 9 grassroots nonprofits throughout the city, and in my opinion, it's grassroots nonprofits here in New Orleans that are really making a difference. Organizations like Relief Spark and Common Ground and Animal Rescue New Orleans, and community centers like St. Bernard Community Center and the Village in the 9th Ward, and the network of nonprofits we support, as well as ourselves, are really the people on the ground making a difference. Right now, Relief Spark and all of our volunteers are at City Park here in New Orleans. City Park is a 1,300-acre park that sat under about 5 to 6 feet of water after Hurricane Katrina hit. We are doing some trail rebuilding, some clearing of the trails, trying to clean up the water line, picking up trash. We're going to be in here with a chainsaw and a wood chipper and really trying to get it back to what it was before the storm hit. We've adopted a 5-acre section here that sits right on the water, something of a bird sanctuary full of wildlife, and we see people back here walking their dogs and riding their bikes and coming through and enjoying it. Everybody's full of great things to say and thanking us for helping clean up the park, and hopefully in due time City Park will be back to what it was.
Hi, my name's Monica Corton, and I'm from New York City, New York, and I'm here with Adult Mitzvah Corps, which is a Jewish group from New Jersey led by Joel Soffin, and we've been working on this house now for 3 days in the Tremé area of New Orleans. We have had so many different experiences. I never imagined I could spackle or paint or take linoleum off a floor, but literally everybody can do pretty much every skill that's needed to build a house. And we've had so many people from the city of New Orleans stop by and just thank us for all our hard work. And I can't even tell you how exciting and rewarding it's been to be here with these people who really, really need our help. Nobody is coming to New Orleans on any kind of major federal level to rebuild the city, and it's going to take people to make New Orleans the great city that it was before Katrina and the great city it'll be after.
Hi, I'm Sheila Kane. I'm from Rockaway, New Jersey, and I am totally thrilled to be here. I have no construction experience, but I have experience volunteering in other places. And And when I saw what was happening here with Katrina and the lack of government response and the fact that people are still not in their homes 2.5 years later, I felt I must come down and give something back and help. I feel I'm getting more out of it. It's very satisfying, rewarding work, knowing that you're doing something to make the world a better place. And I'm thrilled that I'm here with my temple and my rabbi. It makes it a spiritual feeling as well as a physical participation. It's a lovely city. Everybody has been so thrilled that we're here. The response from the neighbors and the people greeting us so warmly has been a wonderful experience. And I recommend it for others. You don't have to know what to do. They tell you what to do. I've been spackling. I've never spackled before in my life, but I'm spackling and hammering and carting and loading and just helping, and knowing that you're helping others is a wonderful feeling.
My name is Teresa McNamara. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts. I found out about this program through my mother, and I just decided to come because I wanted an alternate thing to do over Christmas break. I go to school at University of Tampa, so I came home and then I came down here. And I just thought it was such a great idea and something I'd never done before in my life. I came in knowing no one, which was just made it even greater. And it's so great to be down here and be a part of something bigger than me and bigger than all of us, and that in a way we're planting a seed, and for these people they'll have a home now, and that's something more valuable than anything anyone could buy for them. This is my first time being here. I've never been to New Orleans before. Further south I've been is Florida, and to be here it's unexplainable, because the things you see, there's these very happening spots, places that are a lot of people, and then there's areas where there's so much work to be done. And it's really, really interesting and very emotional to be down here and see everything we're seeing, and to know that I can contribute in this way is just, it's very nice to know that I can.